Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Rookie Card Collector 123 video. In today's episode, we're going to continue our look at the Negro and Winter League baseball memorabilia. We started back in the mid 50s. We've been working our way backwards through Negro League history, and we are currently at the 1943 time frame. So today's images and items are going to cover 1943 and then start working back towards 1942 and earlier. And we've got a bunch of really big name players to picture today, so it should be a very enjoyable episode. Starting off with maybe the biggest name in Negro League baseball history, Josh Gibson. And we've got here there's actually two different photos of Gibson. Both of these are type 1 images. The photo here on the right pictures Gibson in a baseball stadium, standing in the foreground. It's kind of narrow. The image is kind of narrow, so you miss a little bit of his arm and the top of his cap and all. But very nice full-length body pose of Gibson pictured in his Homestead Grays uniform. So this would be circa 1943, Homestead Grays. Gibson, of course, since Major League Baseball added the Negro League stats to the record books, Josh Gibson now is #1 all-time in batting average career, moving ahead of Ty Cobb, who was always considered to be the all-time leader. Gibson's also very high on the all-time list for various other hitting categories, including slugging percentage, OPS, and other metrics like that, where the shorter Negro League season doesn't come into play so much. If they're not counting stats, they're percentage stats based on how many games and how many at bats they actually had, as compared to the homers and RBIs and other stats like that. We have a second picture of Gibson here. This one's really cool. This one is actually taken, it looks like, in the holiday season. So in the background, there's some sort of, looks like Christmas tree, holiday decorations. And in the foreground, Gibson's holding two suitcases, probably with his street clothes and uniform, to change in the clubhouse or in the dugout there. And in the other hand, he's holding some sort of a jumbo baseball bat. I'm guessing it might be something more like a blow up balloon type of thing. I don't think it's an actual wooden bat. But really cool image of Gibson. Never seen this image before anywhere else. Wish I had this type 1 photo, but probably only one of a kind, so very unlikely. Next up, we're going to look at a third Gibson photo here. This one is a in action type of pose in his full catching gear, looking for a foul pop up. It looks like he's looking into the sun, maybe having trouble finding the ball there. Probably Homestead Grays, as he played for them throughout the 40s. And this one looks like it's a baseball stadium background, and it looks like there's some fans in the seats there. Looks like a very large stadium for a Negro League game, though, so this could have been one of the games that the Homestead Grays played at Griffith Stadium, where the Washington Senators played their American League games as well. So 3 different Josh Gibson images, 1943, all various poses, and some really cool stuff there. Next up is another huge Negro League star and big name in Negro League baseball history, Martin Dihigo. This is a very famous image or famous pose of Dihigo, pictured here in his Marianao uniform. Actually, no, he's not pictured in his Marianao uniform. I'm not sure what uniform that one is. It's 1943 Winter League. He spent some winters in Cuba, or the majority of his winters in Cuba, but he also spent some winters in Mexico, some winters in Venezuela. I'm not sure which uniform this one is. But really nice crystal clear image of Dihigo there. And another Type 1 photo. Okay, next one we're going to look at is a future MLB star, Roy Campanella, uh, Brooklyn Dodgers, of course. And Campanella is pictured here in his Mexican League, 1943. He played for Monterrey in the Mexican League. That was a summer league. And the Monterrey, the M for Monterrey is on his cap there. He's in his catching gear. And really early, very cool image of Campanella. Also Type 1 photo. And next to Campanella, we have a 1943 New York Black Yankees Type 1 photo. This one pictures Satchel Paige in action in his pitching motion with the stadium in the background. This looks like probably Yankee Stadium, as the New York Black Yankees would play there when the Major League Yankees were on the road. So 1943, Satchel Paige pitching for the New York Black Yankees. Another really cool image there. And above that, we've got one team photo here. It's actually a real photo postcard. So this one pictures the 1943 Monterrey Mexican League team, which was the same team where Campanella was featured on the bottom photo. This is the complete team, which includes Roy Campanella and Lazaro Salazar. Hopefully the camera can focus a little better there. That's pretty good. I actually used to own this postcard in one of my early Roy Campanella items. And a really nice image. Everybody's sitting single file on the bench at a baseball game in front of the grandstands with all the fans in the background. So really neat 1943 Monterrey Mexican League team real photo postcard. Okay. The next page, we actually have two more images of that Monterrey Mexican League team from 1943. Um, Basically the same team, just a different photo, different date and time it was taken. This one also includes Roy Campanella and Lazaro Salazar. And then on top, we have a Type 1 team photograph, same 1943 Monterrey Mexican League team. And also Roy Campanella and Lazaro Salazar pictured on there as well. This one I've never seen in person, but really cool. Another 1943 Mexican League team postcard. This is not Monterey. This is, it looks like some sort of maybe an all-star team. Most of the jerseys say Mexico on the jersey, but then there's others that don't say Mexico. It has another name, which I can't make out. But the highlight of this one includes Josh Gibson. And let's see, I believe Gibson is right here where my finger's pointing. So 1943 Mexican League. Josh Gibson did spend a couple of summers away from the Homestead Grays during that time frame playing in Mexico. And this was obviously one of those seasons, 1943. Mexican League, Josh Gibson. It's a team real photo postcard. Above that, we have a 1943 Indianapolis Clowns, another team postcard. This one I think was not a real photo postcard. It was a commercially printed one. So there's more of these out there. This would probably not be a one-of-a-kind type of thing. This one includes Goose Tatum, who was a famous Negro League star, played throughout the 40s into the early 50s. He also played with the Indianapolis Clowns later on, and as it got to the late 40s and early 50s, when they were more of a showmanship type of team as opposed to a serious Negro American League contending ball club. They became kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters of basketball. Was sort of a traveling road show, and Goose Tatum was a star on that team at that point as well. Okay. Next up, we've got a really nice 1943 Homestead Grays. This is a Type 1 team photograph. And this one, as you can see underneath the photo, there's many names there. I'm going to read off. Those are all key Negro League ball players or prominent players that played in the Negro Leagues during that time frame. And it's the Homestead Grays. The Grays won the Negro National League pennant every season from 1937 to 1945. So they won 9 consecutive Negro National League pennants. Most of those seasons, they boasted the tandem of Josh Gibson and Buck Leonard batting third and fourth in the lineup. Very tough to beat that club. So pictured, we have Sam Bankhead. This one has Cool Papa Bell, Hall of Famer. Jerry Benjamin, Raymond Brown, Hall of Famer. Lick Carlisle, Spoon Carter, Ted Christopher, Josh Gibson, Vic Harris, Buck Leonard, Hall of Famers, Roy Partlow, Candy Jim Taylor, Ed Saul Walker, Judd Wilson, Hall of Famer, and Johnny Wright. So if I counted right, I think that's five Hall of Famers on that one 1943 Homestead Grays baseball club. Amazing team and amazing photo. Okay, above that one we have a 1943 Homestead Grays. This one's not a complete team photo. This picture's 3 teammates from that ball club. And the highlight of this one is going to be Judd Wilson, who's pictured on the left. Wilson's the left player here. Wilson was mainly a second, third baseman. He's in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. He was one of the 20 or so guys elected in 2006, and was a superior hitter and good defensive ball player as well. He started in the Negro Leagues from the early 1920s all the way through the early 40s. This point was pretty late in his career. The other 2 players are Lick Carlisle and Thaddeus Christopher, or Ted Christopher. Okay, next one we have this is a Cuban League team photo, so 1943 Habana. And the star of this one would be Martin Dihigo. He's always the tallest player in the picture, so he's going to be right in the center there in the back row. And this is the Habana team, which is where Diego played in 1943 Winter League. Diego was a native born in Cuba. Okay, next one we have is a 1943 Habana team menu. So this was from a restaurant, I guess. Maybe it was the restaurant at the baseball stadium. It says souvenir on the cover, and inside, we can't see the inside, but it's supposed to be a menu. And the front cover includes a picture of the Habana team. It's a different image. It's kind of light in the book here, the printing, so it's not showing up very well. But it's a Habana team image from 1943, which includes Martin Diego. And the last one we're going to look at here, this is pretty neat because these guys are in business suits. But this is a very young Monty Irvin, pictured here on the left. Next to him, underneath this pineapple tree, maybe, is Ray Dandridge. So Irvin and Dandridge, both Negro League greats. Of course, Irvin would go on to become a Major League great with the New York Giants during the 50s. But both Hall of Famers. Dandridge was a top third baseman in the Negro Leagues during the 30s and 40s. And Monty Irvin was primarily an outfielder. And this is from the Mexican League, 1942. So we've actually gotten back to 1942 now at this point. And this is going to be the last image we're going to look at today. So next time when we start up again and continue, we'll be at the 1942 time frame. So lots of really cool images today. Several Josh Gibson, so Satchel Paige, um, Monty Irvin, Ray Dandridge, Martin Dihigo. Just about every image we looked at, it pictured at least one Hall of Famer. And back when I was collecting my Negro League memorabilia, this is the kind of stuff that I was looking for, and occasionally was fortunate enough to add to my collection. I was collecting anything that pictured a Negro League Hall of Famer, preferably more than one Hall of Famer on the items that I was collecting. So anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys again on the next one.